Good evening, friends. Welcome back. It's been a crazy couple of last few days. I've been hard off in some emails and messages, and they're coming in like crazy. That may have a little bit to do with the fact that there's an awful lot of viewers out there. I opened it up today, and there was 235,000 views. That's about 9 or 10,000. We're averaging about 9 or 10,000 views a day. There's a little over 7,000 subscribers, and I appreciate y'all giving me your time. Like I said before, your time is very valuable, and I sure appreciate you listening. I do. I hope that there's things that I've imparted to you that you could carry through your life and pass on to your children and everything like that. But like I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of irons in the fire. What we're trying to do right now is get 2 new Telegram channels up. One for the vax and the mask, and another one for the bonds. Some folks have said, well, these bonds are for set-off. And I've got some messages from people that have actually done that, have set some debt off and stuff like that. But they're also bonds. And a lot of times they're referred to as UCC liens. If they're bonds, they can be monetized. Okay? The last video I said monetize a whole bunch of times. They're in the dictionary really close together, but I'm not using that as an excuse. But I'm sure there was some OCD, anal retentive English majors out there that were probably pulling their hair out every time I said that. I'm sorry if I put you in that position, okay? But I'm not perfect. I do say things differently, and I blow words all the time. It's probably because my head's crammed full of words. I've read 3 dictionaries in the last, 4 or 5 years. So, but that's part of it. There is, like I said, I'm going to try to get these Telegram channels together, so we can start breaking the study group up and getting people in there. I've had some time to finally get off and answer a bunch of these messages that people have had in the Telegram. And I have a lot of answers. Then there's some that I don't, and I apologize. But it gives me things to think about. There's been a few suggestions of things that I've thought about that I thought, well, yeah, that might work. So a lot of you out there have some fantastic ideas. And I've heard a lot of good things. I've talked to people that have been successful in the foreclosure. And I talked to a guy. I just got some mail here today from Mike M. Mike Mason. I'm gonna just say your whole name, okay? Yeah, it's the first time I've got a letter from any of you all, and I guess you spotted it on the 1099A when I held it up. But he talked about the GSA bonds and some success that he had with that. You guys share stuff with me all the time, man, and I try to read as much as I can. Can't always get to them on the time. I have read a lot more of the conditional acceptances, and I'm really happy that a lot of you have got your head wrapped around this. There's still some mistakes being made with the 1099As and the other documents, the other tax documents that go with them. And one of the questions that people have about this is when they read the directions, it says, well, this is for reporting income. Okay. The reason I use those documents, and check this out, y'all, use them without prejudice. Okay. You'll read that in the conditional acceptance. You'll really read it in the contracts with the Treasury. Look, Treasury, we don't have no other way of submitting these lien securities but by using these tax documents. So we're using them without prejudice. Okay? Think about it like this, folks. If Public Law 73-10 says that the government must pay for everything, and you send these documents, these tax documents, to the Treasury in a contract, and you say, look, I'm using these without prejudice. Why? Because I don't know of any other way to do this, to get the government to pay what it's supposed to be doing. Paying this stuff. Hey, United States government, do you know of a better way to do what Public Law 73-10 says you have to do, which is pay for everything? Look, Joe Biden, how is the government supposed to pay for everything like Public Law 73-10 says they have to? I would be more than happy if someone in the government would come out and say, look, Chris, you're doing this all wrong. What you really need to do is this procedure. Fantastic. Come tell me. Because I'll sure change. I sure will. But until then, I'm going to use these tax documents without prejudice to do what it is that needs to be done with these things. You can't go wrong without prejudice. Another thing, too, is I've noticed that I'd like to clear up. If anybody has, and I'm sure there's probably a few people that have some doubt. There was some house cleaning done just recently, and some of the people got the boot, and they were first they were brown nosing. Hey man, I got kicked out, and dude, I've been down with your stuff, man, and I just got kicked out, and then when you don't respond, within a day they're talking all kinds of crap about you, and that dude's got a notebook full of stuff there, man. He's got everybody's information. Yeah, he's the police. That's the first thing. When I talk to these people in these comments, these YouTube comments, if they're, well, prove it. Show me your bank statement. Okay, how many of y'all out there want to freaking break out your bank statement and show it on, across the World Wide Web? No, none of them. I invited one of those clowns to my house to see what I got. I've never done that. Yeah, come on up to the house. I'll show you. I ain't hearing nothing but crickets, but I'm a police. Let me give you all a little something to think about, okay? You see that right there? Right? The Supreme Court of Tennessee. Whose name's on there? Whose name is that you see there? It's mine, okay? It's the trust name. See, it's in all caps, just like it is on the Social Security card. How many police y'all know, or agents that you know, have got a case being argued in the Supreme Court right now? I've never heard of a cop going to the Supreme Court unless he's been convicted of some crime, and the case going there. But that's not the case. No, I'm not. I'm not the freaking police. I don't like police. I really don't. I know some people that are police, and I like them as people, but I don't like them as the badge. Because they're corporate policy officers. They're out there generating revenue. Most cops, if they knew the truth, wouldn't be out there doing that. If you take up the revenue that are written in just tickets, just tickets, and you split it up amongst all the cops in the country, every cop whether they're writing tickets or not, would generate $137,000 a year. How many cops you know making that much money? You know, these country bumpkin cops around here, they're lucky if they're making $335 a year. Yeah, if they knew that, they'd probably be a little pissed off. Where's my cut? That's why so many of them's corrupt. They're not getting paid. They're not getting paid as much as they think they're worth. So no, I'm not the police. Police don't have a freaking case in the Supreme Court. That's what happens when you sovereign guru pimps out there get your bubble busted. Oh, right away he's the police. Yeah, okay. Anyway, another thing I'd like to talk about tonight is there's a real hardcore pillar, unshakable female out in Eugene, Oregon right now, who has just completely blasted their municipal court. Yeah. Yeah. Talked with her tonight for about an hour. She's out there, and one of her first things, and this is over a mask, folks. She's not wearing a mask. She goes into a store. They bust her out, tell her to leave. She comes back later, and they get her for trespass. And I talked to her a couple nights ago. She had her the beginning of her trial, or the trial, on Thursday or Friday, and there was picketers out front. They've closed the courthouse down for her. Nobody's going into the courtroom like they should. The cops are patrolling around outside like there's going to be some big riot. You know, it's okay for people to riot and burn down the freaking cities and shit, but you let one sovereign go off in the court with a handful of people outside picketing. Now all of a sudden you got a big, this is a July the 6th thing. They're going to take over the courthouse. But she went in there and she said a lot of what we said. She never crossed the bar. She went in and busted this judge out completely, and they escorted her out. And we're going to have this without you. We're going to put this lawyer on you. You know, and they take her out into another courtroom and let her watch it on the TV screen, surrounded by the cops. This, you know, little old gal, you know, this little you know, female. They got half a dozen cops escorting her out. And, yeah, you big tough guys. Then you got, a I couldn't believe this, a six-person jury. Yeah, there's your trial, a 6-person jury. Yeah, what's up with that? She blasts her and says what I would have said. Well done. You did a real fine job, Mindy. She's got a court reporter that's actually typing up the transcript. She's paid. And they escort her out. And the lawyer that they put on her broke for lunch. And she said, damn, it's sure good I'm not paying you. And on the way back in, she said, yeah, it's a good job you're doing. And he gave her the finger. Yeah, that's some effective assistance of counsel right there. And then he leaves early, right? My wife has a medical condition. You know, I got to leave, so they call it off. And then she goes back in today. And there isn't, the lawyer that they put on her or attempted to isn't even there. Some other joker standing up there. They won't even let her in the courtroom. And they put it off again. And this is why, folks, because we were talking the other night, and I was telling her all the things, you know, hey, you know, this is ineffective assistance of counsel if you're not talking. If you don't have intelligent two-way conversation between yourself and the lawyer, it's ineffective assistance of counsel. The United States Code says that. So don't talk to these lawyers. If they put one on you and you refuse, do not talk to them. Don't even make eye contact with them, because they've already lost. They've already lost with ineffective assistance of counsel. It's why when they diagnose you or prove you fit or incompetent to stand trial, when they do that to you, they can't get a lawyer to represent you because there's not an intelligent two-way conversation between a lawyer and a client when the client's loony. That's part of the reason why they can't try you. It's ineffective assistance of counsel. Same is going to happen in our case. We didn't talk to any of the lawyers at all. It's automatic. It's automatic ineffective assistance of counsel. There's a lot of other things covered under that. But she went in there and we were talking about all this stuff. I told her, I said, ask them for the bonds. Break out the penal bonds there, dude. Let's get this done. Show me the bonds. Give me the bond. I want the bond numbers. You got to put these pricks on the spot to get them to respond. And the whole time she's saying this stuff, she's like, yeah, Chris, it's like you said. They don't say nothing. You get up here and you say all this stuff. I'm the beneficiary and you're the trustee and this is a military court and I'm here under fraud, menace, duress, and extortion and all this stuff she's busting out. This judge, female judge, the way she explained it to me, apparently this judge is a lesbian, a bull type lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Whatever your deal is. But so they get the power trip. All these judges get the power trip. She pretty much put this one on blast. And we were talking Friday night, and I was breaking all this stuff out. When you go in there on Monday, if you're going to go into challenge a jurisdiction and say all the stuff like you said before, and tell them that the lawyer's not your lawyer and don't cross the bar. And I went over a whole long list of things, and I said, you know what? It's too bad you didn't do a conditional acceptance on these people. She said, well, I did. I said, whoa, hold on a minute. You did. Forget everything that I said. I said, when was their 10 days up? Friday. Well, that's great. Here's what you really need to do. You need to go in there on Monday morning and shut them down. Wait a minute. Don't cross the bar. Go in there and say, wait a minute. First of all, y'all have entered into a contract with me. Your 10 days was up Friday. You had till Friday to meet the terms of this contract, meet these conditions. I even gave you more time to do this. All you had to do is send it to me in writing why you needed it, why you needed the extra time, how much more you'd need. I'd be glad to give it to you. But you chose not to do that, lady on the bench in the black robe. You chose not to do that. And I've got in this hand, I've got the contract. Over here in this hand, I've got the green card. Do you know this person on here? And then read off the name, because it's probably her secretary signed for it as her agent. Your worker right here signed as your agent. We have a contract. You owe me $3 million. If you proceed with this, you all are being arrested. I want every one of y'all arrested. The prosecutor, Shailene the prosecutor, Shailene the judge, or the administrator of the tribunal. I said, well, what about the clerk? Did you get the clerk too? Well, it's a municipal court. A municipal court, y'all. A corporation. A corporate court. well, no, they bounce around and stuff. It doesn't matter. You put the person or the human acting as the trust, acting as their trust, acting as judge, and their principal. It doesn't matter who it is. You got them too. Go up there and say that. Watch them leave. Watch them pack their stuff and leave. Listen, folks, if you're in a position to where you're looking at going in front of one of these clowns in a black robe, you need to get the conditional acceptance on them. And you need to get it on them in time that they can't answer it in 10 days. If your 10th day is up the day before your scheduled hearing is, or the scheduled hearing is, you've got a contract. It's already a done deal. You must recuse. The one that I sent out, Lee Harold, that was a vehicular homicide. A lot of you read that. The judge recused himself. They have to do this. And here you are with a court reporter in there. All you really need is a couple friends to go in with you as witness. That you've put them on blast. Wait a minute. Hold up. Somebody owes me a buttload of money right here, and they're sitting up there with a black robe on. Now, how is it that you can judge me and be fair when you owe me $3 million? Say if they took the $3 million out right there in front of you and gave it to you, they still couldn't judge you or try you because they had to pay you. Now they're biased. That's what this document does, folks. It biases them. And if you got the clerk, then you've got the court, too. They're called tribunals. That means three. The judge, the prosecutor, and the clerk. Those are the three judges sitting on the military admiralty tribunal. When you go to a court-martial in the military, there's three officers sitting at the table that you go report in front of to get your court-martial. There's three. They're tribunals, military tribunals. So when you've got them, y'all owe me money. It's time to vacate this room. Don't let the doorknob hit you or the good Lord split you. I own this courtroom now. That's what the conditional acceptance does, folks. Like I've told y'all in past videos, this is a powerful document. It's an extremely powerful document. When it makes judges run, when it makes prosecutors run, so I would suggest studying that and learning that. Another thing, too, that I wanted to mention before I let you guys go for the evening, the 1099A. A lot of people still have, I shouldn't say a lot of people, quite a few people have this issue. They're not comprehending what that really is. And so I'm going to say this as plain as I can, okay? When you get to 1099As from the IRS, find you a typewriter or whatever the case may be, and type on every one of these documents. The lender is always the Treasury. Always. The borrower is always the beneficiary, or you. Okay? Mine would say the Treasury is the lender, and the borrower is Christopher-Allen Hauser. You can even put beneficiary, and then their address, and then the address. Do those. And that way, when you put these, when you use these, if you got 20 of them set up like that, and do all three of them on the page. Do all three of them. Because you can always check the void box on the ones you're not using and send them in. A lot of people are said, well, hey, how do we know that if the dealership gets paid or the mortgage company gets paid? The Treasury will send you copy B. They will send it back to you. You are the borrower. They'll send it back to you. Then you'll know. A lot of folks are doing these things, and the trustees are keeping the coupons and the 1099As. That's received, folks. I spoke about that in the last video. They've received it. Not only that, they've contractually received it. Let me explain the letter to the coupon one more time. You can also use this with the 1099A, the same format, okay? Just the language will be a little different. Say you're doing a 1099A for taxes. You'd fill it out. You'd send a letter in. Here's the 1099A. Every taxpayer is assessed to K Trust, and so here you go. Here's this 1099A. Fix the letter up. You don't have if you're doing something like that, you won't include the definitions to coupon or any of the other statement or anything like that, unless they sent you. Well, actually, they did. When they send you the tax document that says you owe, they're going to send you a statement and a coupon. I noticed that the other day. So you set up your letter like that. This is what it is. I'm the beneficiary, and I'm just trying to. If the IRS tells you that you owe a debt, it's not really you that owes the debt. It's your trust that owes the debt. Every taxpayer is assessed to K Trust. Assessed to K Trust is a piece of paper. It's your Social Security account, or the Social Security account attached to you that you're the beneficiary of. You can't be a piece of paper. So you can't owe the taxes. You don't owe the taxes. They'll send a letter in your all caps name, and then they'll say, dear taxpayer. Well, right there's two different things that they're identifying. Then they'll say you. You notice that? They'll say you. So who's the real party in interest? Who are they really talking about? You'll see this a lot with statements and letters like that. But they'll send a coupon along with it. So set your letter up like that. And then say, if it's a coupon thing, talk about the double dipping. Yeah, you're double dipping. So I'm just sending the coupon. Or you're double dipping and I'm sending the coupon, and here's a 1048 too. I'm just going to help you do some double dipping. But in those letters that you send out like that, put the postal rule in it. By putting the postal rule or the definition or the description of the postal rule in the body of the letter, what you're doing is you're creating a common law contract. And by doing that, then sending it certified mail, they've already accepted the payment before they've even opened up the envelope to know what's inside. Notarize it. The reason you do that is because a notary public is an agent for the Secretary of the State. It's like the Secretary of the State notarized your signature or witnessed your signature. So you'll do that. You'll do that and notarize it and put that stuff in the body of the letter, what the definitions are. And you can even put in the letter, by signing for this parcel, by signing this certified return receipt, you've already contracted that you accepted it. So don't try and shuck and jive me and say, well, we don't accept this. Too late, buddy. You already have. Then send it certified mail. When you guys do these documents, you can always put your name and address at the top. And from, start out with from, and put your name, your beneficiary name, Christopher Allen Hauser, comma, BENE period. That's the abbreviation for beneficiary. If you don't want to write the whole word out, BENE period. And then underneath the name, put without prejudice. Everything below without prejudice is your reservation of your rights. And just tell them, hey man, you've already accepted this. Go ahead and do that when you do the letters. I hope that's solved a lot of that. Another thing too, folks, I appreciate you sending me pictures of these documents that you're doing before you send them out. That's super brilliant. But let me give you a little advice. Cover up your Social Security number, okay? I've had about 12 people already send me pictures of their 1099As with their Social Security number on it, their address and their name and all that stuff. Now, believe me, folks, I delete those as soon as I get them, or look at them and tell you that back. Please, folks, a lot of you guys take your ink pen and cover the Social Security number on it. That's wise. Believe me, you can trust me with your Social Security number, because I'm not going to have it long before I delete it. But here's the thing: you're sending pictures of these, of your Social Security number, across the World Wide Web, and yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on out here. So y'all do me a favor and cover up those numbers before you send them to me. That way I don't have to delete them if I don't want to. If I want to use them for an example. Say, this guy did a really good job on his. Look at here. This is what he did. I cover up your address and stuff like that. I'm going to use it as that, but to explain how that looks, a lot of you guys are doing a fantastic job. I've seen whole groups of documents going out. I've seen a lot of you folks acting as the trustee, and you're filling these documents out perfectly. Pat yourself on the back, kiss your brain. You're doing a good job. I've answered a lot of emails. I've got a long list, and I hope to spend a lot more time. Now things are kind of slowing down a little bit. Got everything caught back up. But I appreciate y'all listening to me and supporting the channel. And yeah, everybody have a wonderful evening. And y'all pray for each other, okay? Because a lot of you all are pillars in this thing. Unmovable, unshakable. A lot of you are, man. I can already tell, man. Fantastic fighters for the cause. Let's get them straight. Peace and blessings, y'all.